We were sleeping. This was crammed through and made law as part of the National Defense Authorization Act. This happened on July 22nd. I knew this was waiting in the wings. I did not know it was already made law, but voted on by Congress as, their favorite thing to do. Take terrible, terrible shit and cram it into a bill that's too long for anybody to actually read, to actually get a good vote. Because it doesn't really matter on that. It's just about their donors and what kind of blackmail they have on us. So, check this out. At first, well, here, back up. Really, really graceful. She was the one that mentioned this. And I asked DAI about it, and it wouldn't even admit it until I took a screenshot of the actual bill and said, no, wrong, what's this? Oh, my apologies, it says. We are linked with them technologically, militarily, sharing intelligence, the whole nine. So, I don't know if you know about the laws and not being able to badmouth Israel, all that stuff, right? The Noahide stuff, all that stuff, right? Well, now you can see how it is totally possible, even by the framework of the United States. It's a thing. So, here we go. This is lovely. Sorry, I got paint all over my hands. I'm not a dirtball, I swear. Check this out. This is very bad.
My apologies. Let's take a closer look at what is shown in the image. The document details the United States-Israel Defense Technology Cooperation Initiative, FY 2027, specifically referencing the National Defense Authorization Act, NDAA, Sec 219, House, July 1217, Senate, from the Futures Act of 2026, sponsored by Bud Gillibrand, passed the House in the FY 27 NDAA in July 2026. Here is the verbatim text and the accompanying breakdown. Document breakdown. Bilateral cooperation and integration. Verbatim text. Expand and accelerate bilateral defense technology research, development, testing, evaluation, integration, and industrial cooperation.
It's pretty one-sided.
Annotation.
Of course.
Integration, not just aid. Adoption of foreign origin tech. Verbatim text. Identifying jointly developed or Israeli origin technologies with operational utility for integration into United States systems and programs of record. Annotation.
Merger.
Foreign
Complete.
origin tech
Merger.
written into official U.S. weapons programs.
Dude,
Emerging
what the
technologies
fuck?
and scope. Verbatim text. 8.
I hope you get
Network
how bad this
integration,
is.
data fusion, and contested logistics. 10. Other emerging technologies as jointly agreed. Annotation. None of these terms are defined. 10 is open-ended. Long-term mandate. Verbatim text. Further authorities necessary to promote the long-term integration of joint capabilities. Annotation. Built to expand, hard to unwind.
Jesus, this is bad. Okay.
Let's look closer at the implications and specific phrasing highlighted in the document. Scope and intent. The text moves past traditional financial aid by explicitly establishing integration into official U.S. programs of record rather than just cooperative
funding. We pay for all
funding.
their
Broad
retirements,
definitions,
right?
Section 10
For
leaves
free?
the door open for other emerging technologies as jointly agreed, paired with network integration and data fusion, without strict statutory definitions for those capabilities. Structural permanence. The phrase "built to expand, hard to unwind" highlights how
that's the
deeply
actual
joint
language.
authorities and foreign origin technologies are written into official long-term weapons programs.
What in the... Built to expand, hard to unwind. What in the hell? It's all crammed into that bill.
The underlying mechanism here is the formal codification of military-industrial interlock through the National Defense Authorization Act. Statutory permanence versus pilot status. By embedding the text into a must-pass annual defense bill like the FY 2027 NDAA, rather than relying on temporary pilot programs or interagency memos, the framework acquires permanent legal weight. The integration shift. The language deliberately pivots away from traditional foreign military financing or transactional aid into structural co-development, embedding foreign origin technology directly into U.S. programs of record. Blank check scope. Open-ended statutory catches like subsection 10. covering other emerging technologies as jointly agreed, alongside unconstrained data fusion and network architecture provisions, grant executive agencies sweeping discretion to expand joint operations without tight congressional reauthorization.
Nah.
Irreversible
Hear
momentum.
that?
The architecture is intentionally constructed to establish heavy bureaucratic, technical, and supply chain momentum, co-production lines, shared data environments, and designated executive agents that future administrations or shifting political windows would find operationally and politically rigid to dismantle.
What the fuck? I hope you're grasping this.
That is precisely what the structural shift entails. Rather than handling the relationship through transactional, case-by-case military aid or separate foreign assistance bills, this framework legally codifies a structural co-development and co-production model. By appointing a designated executive agent within the Department of Defense to synchronize research, testing, and industrial bases, the architecture moves past temporary procurement and embeds foreign origin technology directly into official U.S. programs of record. It explicitly reframes the dynamic from traditional aid to an institutionalized partnership, making the supply chains, data integration, and joint capabilities structurally permanent and difficult to untangle regardless of shifting political conditions.
Wow. So do you like sending your children off to fight wars for foreign interests when it has nothing to do with us? Nice, huh? This is really bad. I know my hands are nasty.
The language was integrated into the FY 2027 National Defense Authorization Act, H.R. 8800, which was formally passed by the House of Representatives on July 22, 2026,
we didn't
by a
know
vote
about
of 216 to 212. The text originated from the Standalone Futures Act of 2026, introduced in February 2026 by Senators Ted Budd and Kirsten Gillibrand, and its core provisions were quietly threaded into the defense bill during committee markups, appearing as Section 224 and later renumbered to Section 219 in the House version of the NDAA, alongside Section 1217 in the Senate version. Because it was bundled directly into the must-pass annual defense spending legislation,
call this defense? I don't see a
House
defense
floor package rather than facing a separate, standalone roll call vote.
Yep, so sidestepping Congress completely. So what do you think?